What's up guys, Ruben the Builder here. So we're on site at Fredcrest where we're building 28 townhomes start to finish on a 1.3 acre parcel that we got for $697,000. So what we're gonna be talking about today is firewall assemblies, 1 hour, 2 hour details, how we build them, how we pass inspection, and how we assemble them after the fact, and why we do a partial delivery of trusses so that we can do just this right here. I'll explain in detail. Super excited for you guys. Guys, like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it. We are right now framing 4 duplexes. We have trusses on the ground, and I'll explain exactly why. And I'm gonna go through the process of what it's like to daily manage some of these duplexes. So normally, truss delivery truck comes, they have a crane built into the truck, and they'll lift up the trusses and put them right onto the building right away. But in this case, we have 2 single-family residences attached together, creating a duplex. And there is 2 1-hour firewalls, creating a total of a 2-hour firewall in the building. You typically have 2 separate buildings, and they're brought together like this. However, you don't remove one of the walls. It's not like apartments where you can have one wall that holds 2 units together. It's actually 2 separate buildings coming together that are completely standalone. So essentially, if you removed one and the foundation was left, the building would still stand. Versus apartments where there's just one shared wall between the units. And so essentially, you have twice the material on those firewalls. But that creates a problem because if there was a fire started in unit A, it could transfer over to unit B. And so what we've done is, and what we're required to do is add a 2-hour firewall detail. In other words, if a fire would start in unit A, it would take 2 hours for it to pass into unit B. And so the way that we do that is from the ground all the way to the roof, we have fire protection. I'll show you guys exactly what that looks like. See, this is unit A, for example, and then this is unit B. They're not sharing any kind of structural walls, but you can see here that we have a dense glass material that is essentially fire resistant, and it goes from the foundation all the way from, you can see inside here, all the way to the tip of the roof. And so we need to inspect this before the walls are picked up like this and see if the nailing pattern is correct, if the fire stop material is 10 feet both vertically and horizontally. I'll show you guys visually what that looks like. And so this adds a lot of complication to the inspection process and building process. In other words, we have to build 1 unit first, lay this wall on the ground, right? Inspect everything. Once it's approved, this could add 3 days to your schedule, and then lift up the wall once it's passed, and then start on the 2nd floor. Then on the 2nd floor, you lose 3 days on schedule again because you have to do the same thing. You pick up one side of the wall, the 2nd floor wall is on the ground, inspect it, pass it, approve it, maybe there's corrections, then lift up that wall. Now, back to the trusses. We have to do the exact same thing on the trusses. We can't install the fire stop material, the mineral wool on the 2nd truss and close it and sandwich it right away without inspecting it. And so it's not feasible to deliver all the trusses at once. We have to deliver just a partial delivery, install the dense glass, install the mineral wool, pass inspection on the nailing, and only then we can actually install it on the building. And so what we're gonna do is install the mineral wool, get a partial inspection, and then deliver all the rest of the trusses and lift them all up at the same time, put them in place, and then you can start sheeting the roof. So it's a little bit extra complications. I just added a week to the schedule by simply adding the 1st floor firewall, 2nd floor firewall, and now the trusses. Let's go see what exactly it looks like on the ground before it's picked up, the assembly. So what we're looking to do is recreate this on this, because we'll install the dense glass, we'll install the mineral, the strapping, the nailing, we'll get it inspected and then put it up there. Now that I've explained to you guys on how it all works, you guys can see visually here. So we have firewall A, we can get the inspector to inspect our nailing, how deep the nail is, the size of the nail, and even the type of nail. We can inspect the nailing on this wall as well, firewall B, and the inspector can inspect the mineral wall. The mineral wall requirement is every 10 feet vertically and every 10 feet horizontally, there's fire stop material. And so this is what the firewall assembly looks like during this partial inspection process. Alrighty guys, so that's pretty much it for this firewall assembly. That's how we get it done. Yeah, it does take a little bit more time, but it's actually for a really good reason. What used to happen in the past before these extra firewall details and even this mineral wool, there was a 1-inch air gap all the way from top to bottom in the house. And if a fire started, that oxygen rich area was super dry, ready to go. And when the fire would start, it would absolutely supercharge that fire and it would burn the house down so much faster than it should, and people wouldn't have enough time to get out of the house. And so all of these details are built for a reason, because of some kind of situation that happened. And so as we progress in the construction industry, we start to learn things. We're like, oh man, we gotta slow down this air gap. That's why we put it 10 feet horizontally and vertically. It slows down the fire, and it actually creates a 2-hour firewall detail in this situation.
Hey builder, the landscaper needs you.
Okay.
We don't need to move nothing else, right?
No, the trees were over there, remember, by the fence?
Yeah.
But they would die because of the foundation and the retaining wall. Mm-hmm. And so we moved 4 trees, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We moved them to the back for now. Sure. I just want to make sure they don't die. All right. Okay guys, so we're walking over to lot number 1 and 2. And essentially what's going on here is sometimes people are sitting in the office designing landscaping plans, but on-site conditions are a little bit different. And so as you can see, this is our foundation line right here. And then what's covered up here is the retaining wall. So you can see we have almost maybe 3 feet of space right here. And those big trees were planted. These trees will grow as big as that one, 20, 30 feet. Not very ideal to have a massive tree in a tiny little setback between a duplex and this fence and this retaining wall. So we took the liberty of not following the plan. We removed that tree and we moved it out back away from the building. And so this tree was moved, that tree was moved, and that tree was moved out to the backyard. We already know that this is our rear property line. So we're gonna have a fence that's gonna go right here, and we can move the trees into the backyard where they're closer to a fence instead of closer to the foundation. So that's the conversation that we just had with the landscaper. Hey, we just moved the trees, we wanna save them. Let's make sure that the trees don't die. The landscaper is gonna install these little water bags around the tree, and he's gonna fill them with water. What these water bags do is they're filled with water, and they slowly drip water around the tree and keep it alive. So you only have to fill these bags once a week, maybe once a month, depending on the size, and they slowly drip and provide water to the tree, keeps it alive. By the way, I'm helping people across the entire nation build their very first house with little to no experience. If that's you, click that link below to leverage me and my team to avoid all of the different mistakes you can make in construction and make your first project a home run out of the park, over 6 figures of profit or equity on that very first deal. Click that link below. Let's get you started. Guys, thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. If you found this interesting, like, share, subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And then also, I'd love to see you comment and write, what do you struggle with the most in construction? Or maybe what's the biggest challenge for you to get into the game? And I'd love to make videos about that for you, specifically for what you guys are looking to watch. Like, share, subscribe once more. Thank you so much for watching. Ruben the Builder. Peace out.